lesson 1 is done. Here comes video recap number 1. And yeah, hopefully the metronome is going to be loud enough, so is the guitar. Right now it's 7 minutes to 1 in the morning. So I really want to get everything done for the week before I go to bed tonight. So trying to keep it a little bit quiet more than usual, so I don't, nobody upstairs in the apartment or nobody down in the downstairs apartment hears me. But so just kind of retouch or recap on what we talked about, or what the goal is right now. Since picking, being able to pick faster, more accurate is the thing. Like right now, what I'm trying to get you to do is push just your picking speed while strumming these chords before we start doing the single note stuff, because I find it's much easier to be able to just strum the hell out of some chords in terms of like keeping your rhythm, keeping things nice and fluid, versus doing the single note stuff, because we have to have much more accuracy with that. So as we keep pushing you with some of this stuff, and I'm not sure how long we're going to stay on the chords, but it's really going to be determined on how you progress. And because you've been playing for such a long time, how the lessons get shaped with you is going to be very unique versus like someone who's only been playing a few years or even 5 years. So yeah, log the speed you get. I think it would be very helpful for the both of us if you could write down, like maybe on the piece of paper, for each of these exercises, like the date you practiced, how fast you got at the end of that, and then this way we can check out like your log of speeds throughout each week, so I can see and you can see how you're making progress, because all that feedback is very, very good to have, because my goal with you and with everybody is to have you constantly progressing. So if I can see how your speed is progressing each practice session, that's going to tell me a lot, because sometimes you'll have like a 10 or 20 beat per minute increase. Sometimes you'll be stuck at the same speed for a few days. So knowing that information is going to be helpful in allowing me to shape these lessons as we continue. So yeah, write down your speeds. Very, very good idea. Again, back to weight training. You got to track your reps and sets and how much weight you did and all that. This way you know if you're progressing or not. So I'm going to play at a few different speeds here, just so you can have a visual and audio demonstration of how these things sound at the different speeds. And like you asked today, should you worry about your picking technique, how things look and all that? No, don't worry about that. Just let things happen as they happen. Even like the wrist pulling out or bending like that, that's fine. Again, so long as it sounds good, that's what matters. And if you tense up, just like I tense up in the really, really fast stuff, if you tense up while you're doing it because you're pushing yourself to go faster, and it still is in time, if it's still in time, that's okay. There's going to be moments of tension when you're pushing faster and faster. Learning what is unwanted tension, that's another story. Maybe we'll talk more about that next time. But for now, I'm going to demonstrate at 60, and then probably go to 120 and then some other speeds. And here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. On to 120. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's try that again. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to do 160. 1, 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4. 180, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. $200, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now see, at that point, I stopped having my hand in this position. I am using my pinky as an anchor point. With that, I took this part of my hand, I anchored it on the body of the guitar, so instead of having my wrist out like this, sorry, that's not the camera, instead of having my wrist out like this, it's now like that. And then that part of my hand, the palm here, acts as an anchor point, and that's how I am able to get into that kind of speed there. So if you start getting out of control with your wrist being out this way, try pulling your wrist this way. So instead of having the wrist pointing out that way, bend it the other way. Anchor your hand and use, and so it's mostly your arm that's going to be moving it, or moving to pick. The wrist is just a pivot point now. So we'll get more and more in detail and in depth with that, but that's basically what's happening when I'm playing at that insano speeds. So anchoring here, using that as a pivot point and allowing my arm to just, it's almost like a controlled spasm, is what one student described it when he watched me do it. It kind of feels like that. So I mean, you're really just flexing the hell out of my arm there. As you can see, the, what the hell is that muscle called? Brachioradialis. Yes, the BRD, the brachioradialis, popping up there. Anyway, so that was the 200. Let me do that again so you can see. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. And again, if you feel more comfortable having the wrist out, it's doable. I just did it there like that. But now, if I really want to crank up the speed, I gotta go this way. So let's go to 220. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. $240. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm just going to stop at 250. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So yeah, remember with this one, there's no goal speed to get to. Just get as fast as you can. See if you can beat that speed each time. But remember, only perfect takes are good enough. We don't want to increase the speed on sloppy, because then all that does is get you good at playing sloppy. We want precision. We talk about John Petrucci. He's the guy that will absolutely practice everything as perfectly as he can. He definitely doesn't practice this slope. Anyway, I don't know why I just pronounced slop that way. Maybe because I'm tired. Goodness. Yeah. Palm mutes, all downstrokes. Yes, it is going to be, you know, this seems like it starts slow, doing the 60 beats a minute with the eighth notes. But again, like if you get to 240 beats a minute with this before next week, please send a video of you doing it, and it's a way I can verify that yes, everything looks and sounds dead on. Let's do 16th notes instead. But I mean, this is pretty fast. You know, picking 240 beats a minute, all downstrokes like that, that's considered pretty fast. Because that's basically, you know, if you're able to downpick that, you know, and then you double it up, yeah, you're picking pretty fast. Anyway, probably sound like I'm rambling right now. Sometimes I do that. Okay, so here we go at 60. 1, 2, 3, 4. strum big. Really make sure you're getting all 3 strings. That was poor muting on my part. Anyway, let's go to 120. 1, 2, 3, 4. Big strums. Really want to make sure you're getting all 3 strings there. Because if you can strum 3 strings really fast, 1 string should be theoretically easier because you're not picking so wide. So yeah, if you pick wide really quick and then you tighten that up, you should be able to go faster because the motion's smaller. All right, this is 160. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. $200. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I definitely felt a little bit of tension in my forearm creeping in there. Now, because of the way you're picking it in this style, with your side of your hand muting the strings, you can't go into this style of picking where I'm using that anchor point anymore, and you can't activate the same muscles to be able to. I'm trying to angle myself here better. So you can't do the same super fast picking style while doing the palm mute. It's not the same. I know I can't. I don't know if anybody else can. I mean, you can kind of mimic the same. I can do the twitchy thing here, but it's not hitting the strings anymore very well. I mean, I can kind of do a crappy palm mute like this, but it's not the same as having that proper palm mute technique. So anyway, to reiterate here, you're never going to be able to pick palm mute stuff like this as fast as you're doing the non-palm muted stuff. It just having the side of your hand on the guitar like that will prevent you from going your extreme fastest. So anyway, but yeah, little fatigue wanted to set in on that one for me at 200. Let's see if I can do 240. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Ooh, that's tough. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that's like I said, that's fast, man. That's fast. If I just get red in the face there, look at that. It's intense, man. It's intense. Okay. And let's move on to number 3. So if you get to 240, that's fucking great. If not, that's okay. So long as you're pushing yourself, getting as fast as you can, writing down the speeds you get and the dates that you get them. And I want you to do all 3 of these equally. All 3 exercises every day you practice, and we'll see how they progress. And you're welcome to move them around, meaning if you find one extra difficult and you want to spend extra time with it, or maybe prioritize that, like maybe this one feels extra challenging, you can do that one first while you're fresh and you haven't expended too much mental energy. So the priority principle. Focus on what's kicking your butt the most first. Okay. So we don't want you to go through the other things and start getting mentally fatigued and then try the hardest thing, right? Okay. So as usual, we'll start at 60. And yes, with this, you down pick all the 8th notes. So basically, all that right there, you down pick that. And you will alternate pick this, and when you get to this chord, the chord that ends each bar, you're gonna not palm mute. A little bit of this cut off here. There we go. Okay. So basically, and another way to think of it, you're gonna be picking it like this: down, 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 up, down, up, down. Okay. Here we go. 60 beats a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4. Double time, 120, 1, 2, 3, 4. The last chord, even though it's marked as a whole note, I almost never let that thing ring out all 4 beats. It's just a resolve chord, so you can just bap and hit that sucker and be done. Oh, that reminds me, like exercise 1, remember, don't cut the chords off. Let those quarter notes ring out the whole time. Let me bring that one back up. Just remembered we talked about that today. Yeah, so when you get to the quarter note chords, let them ring out the full quarter note. So, just like I demonstrated earlier, you know, you're going to be going 1 and 2, 3, and 4. You don't want to do it like this. You don't want to go 1 and ba ba da 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 da. So we're not trying to do that right now. Let them ring. Okay. So the last one was 120. Let's go to 160 here. Okay. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 200. This one will be challenging to get super fast because, you know, we've got a decent chunk of down picking that happens. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm definitely have to feel like I'm putting in a bit more muscle there to really make sure I'm hitting the rhythm and getting all 3 strings there. So if you feel like you're putting in a little bit more muscle when you're playing in order to get the job done, that's okay. Alright, let's try 220. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. You can always tell when I'm pushing myself because I always suck on my mouth. I always do this, like make the old man mouth. I don't know why. That's my guitar face. So I actually sometimes purposely do that face when I'm working on something that gets challenging. It's like, well, I know if I hold my mouth like this, I could play it better. Alright, try 240 here. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. I think that's good enough. Okay, so it's a tough one to get up there, but again, no speed goal with this one either. Just get it as fast as you can. Keep pushing yourself each day and write down your times, you know, how fast you get so we can take a look at them together. And absolutely, if you want to send videos, you know, send progress videos and whatnot, you know, a couple times this week or 1 time this week, that always welcome and encouraged. I've got a handful of students right now who will send me stuff midweek or like maybe the day right before the next lesson so they can show the progress. Cause we'll definitely be going over having you demonstrate stuff in person just like we did today with that first thing I gave you. But if you got videos that you send, you know, then we can jump right into stuff right away because you've already shown me what you can do. And yeah, it does make things a little bit faster as far as like getting to the new material and working with stuff once I get to your place. But alright, man, so like I said, the journey has begun to getting you picking like a madman. If you have any questions for me about this stuff, about what to do, you know, let me know. Happy to talk with you via email and all that in between classes. I want you to have all the tools at your disposal to help get you picking the way you want. Alright, video recap 1 has come to an end. We'll see you again Friday.